Hello from Global Strategy. My name is Joshua Weiger and I work with projects and donor relations. In just a minute, I'm going to share with you a conversation with one of our project managers or missionaries who serve overseas. But first, I want to tell you why. 2020 has been filled with all kinds of loss and disruption. As we find ourselves in the last 2 months of the year, we wanted to share with you a chance to finish 2020 strong. We checked in with our local project leaders and we have 14 projects that need a little help to get over the finish line. These projects all fit into 4 categories: education projects, entrepreneurial endeavors, church cultivation, and compassion ministries. We have a unique opportunity before the end of the year to maximize a $50,000 match. This means any gifts toward our year-end Finish Strong campaign will be doubled. For more information on our campaign or the match, please visit childglobal.org/finishstrong.
Daniel Kihm. Hello, my friend.
Hey,
It's
Josh.
good to talk to you today. Thanks so much for taking time to do this. Dan, we're talking about the year-end campaign today, the Finish Strong campaign, and specifically a little bit about your area of service and the project that you help manage. So where are you in the world right now?
We live in Budapest, Hungary. So Central/Eastern Europe, depending on how you define that.
Budapest. So Budapest is actually my favorite city to see at night. Why would that be, Dan?
Well, I'll tell you,
Besides our moonlight strolls in the city, I mean,
um, Budapest is regularly counted as like one of the top 5 or top 10 most Instagrammable cities in the world. And if you've ever been here, regardless of your familiarity or lack thereof with Instagram, you can see why. It's a beautiful capital city filled with amazing bridges that cross over the Danube River and the hills, so you can see like the different elevation and the different buildings up top and the buildings down low. Lots of monuments and churches and statues and breathtaking Parliament building that's modeled after the Parliament in London, I believe. And so it's a gorgeous city, and at night it's lit up and it's just beautiful.
man, when I was a kid, I first heard of Budapest in Carmen, San Diego. I don't know about you, but that's where I first heard of Budapest, chasing Carmen around the world.
Yes.
Anyway,
In our household, we often say now, where in the world is Carmen de Francisco?
I love it. For those of you who don't know, Carmen de Francisco and her husband Alejandro are serving in Spain on the Three Worlds team as well. So, Dan, what are you doing in Budapest? What is the work that you and Christy are doing?
Yeah. So we're part of the Three Worlds team, along with Carmen and Alejandro in Madrid. And Christy and I oversee a network called Europe X. And so we work with churches and pastors and leaders throughout the region who are actively involved in or planning to be involved in church planting or church multiplication. Additionally, Christy works with Audrey Langford to oversee and coordinate 3WLN, Three Worlds Leadership Network. And I work with the church in Bulgaria and the church in Rome, Italy, as part of their local governance board type ministries, if you will. But
that's great. That's great. But you also work with the local church there.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the local church, and we'll get into what their project is and how it connects with the year end.
All right, great. So technically, there are 4 congregations of the Church of God here in Hungary. 3 of them are located here in the capital of Budapest. 1 is out in the country. The 2 main ones that are here in Budapest are the church in Rakospalota and the church in Budakalasz. And those are led by 2 dynamic young pastors named Laszlo and Petty. They're both in their late 30s, early 40s. And they like to say, like, we the Church of God in Hungary, we're one church with multiple locations. And so the emphasis is really on unity and on working together. So they have one governance board that makes up Church of God Hungary. And so decisions are made for all 4 churches, represented by individuals and leaders from all 4 congregations. So Christy and I are part of connecting with these guys and their churches and helping them however we can. We've been here for about a year, and so a lot of what we've been doing thus far has been in regards to local connection has been just developing relationships and getting to know them, as well as familiarizing ourselves with the city, the country, the culture, and the language. And of course, all that has been in some way, shape, or form dampened by COVID. But
yeah, for sure. Would you say the names of those cities again where the churches are?
sure, Rakosh Palota.
I feel like that one's really hard to say.
It's not an easy one. Rakosh Palota. And I'm probably not even pronouncing it right, but there we go. And Budakalasz. And both of them are somewhat north of Budapest, but within like the city center area, if you will.
You can still get there by train, right?
Yep. Trains or buses.
That's great. And I think it's really cool that you work with EuropeX and Budapest, like their third church is a church plant. Like this is
Correct.
something they are doing
Right.
there. And so I think it's so cool that you're there and able to center out of a place that's living out this multiplication idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited.
That's so cool. So the project that we have with the church in Hungary, I'll just say the one church in Hungary right now, with these different locations. I love that. Is for the specific congregation in Budakalasz, right? And it is for their children's ministry center. Would you tell me a little bit about maybe the church building and why the children's ministry center is necessary?
Sure. So this church building is in a small town north of the city of Budapest, and it's a big building. They've owned this building for at least 20 years. I think right around that time. And I was first.
Great location on the one street through this little city.
Exactly. It's a prime location. I was first here 18 years ago as a part of a Tri-S group through Anderson University. And when I was here, the sanctuary was finished, and then everything else was kind of under construction. Now, fast forward, the sanctuary has been expanded. They knocked out a wall and made the sanctuary larger. They finished the kitchen, and they had an upstairs area that really has been unfinished. In recent years, they finished remodeling part of that to be an apartment, which the pastor and his family currently live in. And then the remaining part of it upstairs, the dream is to make that into their children's ministry center. So the desire is to refinish this totally unfinished attic space, if you will, into 3 or 4 rooms that can be used for children and for children's ministry. Until now, the children have had either a corner in the back of the sanctuary to meet or outside if weather permits. And in recent years, they have seen an influx of children and young families, which is an incredible blessing. And so the dream is to have this space and to have the space completed so that they can be faithful with who and what God has given them.
So cool. So there's lots of family ministry going on there with the influx of kids. And I know the heart for outreach in the community is really strong. But you're right, like the constraints of living in Hungary, where, like, tell us a little bit about the weather. Like, why wouldn't you be able to meet outside year-round, Dan?
Yeah. Well, in the summertime, it's just insanely hot. I say insanely. We lived in the Netherlands for 6 years, which is a climate similar to like Seattle. Okay. And so it doesn't get that hot in the Netherlands. Compared to that, summers here are sweltering. But the winters are very similar to a winter in Indiana or somewhere in like, the northern Midwest of the States. Lots of snow.
You get the hot hots and the cold colds.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, this really is essential. I mean, if they're having to be in the sanctuary, anybody who's listening to this video will know, like, trying to hold kids ministry in the same room where a teaching or worship or preaching are going on, like, it's extremely difficult on both ends.
Right.
But I was astounded and so encouraged by the application they sent for the project, because it really lined out every cent that was going to be spent, and the church was taking on the majority of the cost and the burden for doing that space. They weren't leaning solely on the church in North America. Like, tell me the heart behind that at the church.
Sure. I mean, the heart behind it is just not wanting, a free takeout, a handout, or whatever the words are, but just wanting it and really needing help to finish the job. And so they are very responsible and care about this and want this to be done. And it's a matter of maybe something that would take a lot longer if they have to scrounge up the pennies on their own, or something that they could have some of the costs offset through Global Strategies Project. So yeah, but they've, this is a project that they realize this is a necessity, and it's not just a dream. It's not just something that would be cool and add value, but it's really a need. And it's a need to help maximize both their current ministry as well as future ministry, ideally with more young families, instead of coming to a crowded space where there's just no room for new people, to be able to say, yeah, we have a little extra room, we can accommodate more people. That's an incredible thing. And so they have the foresight to say, we want this to happen, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make this happen. And if Global Strategy can help offset those costs and help make this a reality, then that's an amazing blessing. So
good. Well, it's a clear example of our tagline right here. Everything's backward on my video. Right here, of walking with the local church globally. And what I love the church. I've been there a couple times. I love the people, and so I'm just really excited about this opportunity for churches in North America to walk alongside the local church in Hungary, and specifically in Budakalasz, in this way. So, is there anything else you'd like to share, Dan, or say to potential partners through the year-end campaign?
Just in advance, thank you. As missionaries through Global Strategy, we depend on financial support of so many partners, individuals, and congregations all over the U.S. and Canada and elsewhere in some cases. And we don't take your gifts, your donations for granted. We very much appreciate everything that you can do. We appreciate your prayer support, and it's an incredible thing to know that you are watching this video and even considering partnering with this #FinishStrong campaign, which will be a huge blessing to not only this project but other projects around the world.
That's right. Well, thank you, Dan. We love you and Christy and Sophie so much, and can't wait to get on a plane and come see you guys, or have you over here and be able to actually hug your neck in this crazy COVID season.
Yes.
But yeah, what a thank you for this opportunity to partner with you to finish strong, even in Budakalasz. This is a great opportunity.